Hello, everyone. Let me get myself together here. All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. In this live stream, I'm going to be talking about affirmations and the power of manifestation. And I didn't really realize the power of like our words, and even not even like our words, but the way that we say things with emotion, whether or not we believe what we're saying, and how our mind works with the words that are coming out of our mouth, if that makes sense. And I never really noticed the importance of that until like maybe 2 years ago. Maybe when I first started my channel, honestly. It's almost been 2 years, to be honest. It's been in June of 2020 that I put out my first video actually. So in like 1 month it'll be 2 years, which is crazy. But yeah, it's affirmations, the power of manifestation, and how we can all use that to our advantage. So I let's see, probably the first time that I realized that my words hold so much power over myself, my own life, more than other people's words hold power over me, is when I had to realize that we actually control whether or not other people's words have power over us. So it's really like we're always aware of the fact that something has a hold over our life. We're always aware that we're not really in total control. Um, and that's kind of like a paradox because, and I talked about this in like a previous video, I forgot what it was called, but basically, control means that like everything is in your hands, basically. Control means that you have the situation, the circumstance under your jurisdiction. And for us, that's half and half. Like we have half control, but we don't have full control. So if we don't have full control, can you really call it control? Because we don't have everything in our life under our jurisdiction. But it's more so we have half of our life under our jurisdiction. The other half can be we allow other people to have control over us through the words that we let them speak over our lives, or through giving other people's words energy and enabling their words to manifest into our conscious, etc. I think it first takes for somebody to realize that we give other people the power to control our lives in order to, take that control away from outside circumstances. So, so it's kind of like, good morning. So it's kind of like this, like, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. We have two type of influences on our life. We have internal influence, which is everything that's inside of our mind, our body, our spirit, physically, mentally, spiritually, our thoughts, our words, our actions. That's internal influence on our life. And then there's external influence, which is kind of like secondary, because external influence is everything, like the people around us, the things that happen in our life that are outside of our control, and everything else that doesn't come from our own mind. And both of these types of influence are somewhat under our jurisdiction. Every single thing that we think, every single action that we have, every single word that comes out of our mouth, we are in voluntary control over that. And that's internal. Internal influence is the thing that has the most influence over us, over our ability to manifest what we want because we are in total, complete control of it. It's voluntary, right? Versus external influence, all the things that we can't control, like things that happen in our life that are like life changing, what other people or how other people may feel about us, etc. The external things, it's kind of like we're half in control and half not. That's kind of like that half and half paradox. Because, like, say somebody tries to speak something over you and manifest something into your internal world. They try to say, that career that you want, that's a little bit out of your reach. You're probably not going to reach that. Just look at how you're in your life right now. Just look at how much money you're making right now. Just look at your circumstances right now. Do you really think that you're going to reach those goals? Boom. That's somebody speaking something over to you that you then, like, once those words come out their mouth, you then have the power ability to either respond to those words, which gives those words energy to be able to like penetrate your subconscious and to come from like the external influence to the internal influence, or you have the choice to just let those words come out of their mouth and boom, hit a wall. They don't even get into your internal world. And that's how we have half and half control. The ability to raise our consciousness to the fact that we have this control is our superpower. Because when we notice we have that control to either put that wall up or let external things influence us internally, we then realize that we have more say, we have more control over our internal world. Good morning, everybody. So, the dictionary definition of manifestation is an event, action, or object that clearly shows or embodies something, especially a theory or an abstract idea. You can tell it's morning time, and I just woke up an hour ago because of my voice. But manifestation embodies something that either a thought or so it embodies something that isn't physical, like speech or thought, into something physical. So the power of affirmations. The affirmation is more so something like audible, either that you hear inside of your head or somebody else may hear out loud that you say to yourself in order to kind of bring a mental thought or a spiritual idea into the physical. An affirmation is something to, or it's a saying to really affirm with feeling and with belief and with faith that something is already true. And that's so important because, see, I think a lot of people think affirmations are something that isn't true yet, that you want to make true. But I've learned that everything is already, it has the potentiality to be brought into the physical. It's already true. Like it's already, whatever we want to affirm, it's already out here for us to manifest. It just hasn't come into our reality yet. So it doesn't mean it's not true. It just means you need to believe it with feeling more heavily so it can come into the physical. And I think that's very important because, like, say you're trying to affirm something like self confidence, and you currently perceive yourself as having low self confidence. And that is literally how you see yourself. That's the lens that you see yourself, low confidence. And you are affirming physically that I have self confidence. Or no, sorry. You're affirming that you want to have self confidence and say, I'm going to be confident. I'm going to love myself, etc. When you use future tense, affirming something, it means that you don't already believe that it's true. And an affirmation is something that's already like, it's already here. You just have to really claim it and bring it out of just an idea to a physical thing that is here. I really hope that makes sense. So affirming is literally claiming something that's already yours. But the thing is, like, you have to have feeling behind it. You can't just say it and not believe it, because then it's not an affirmation. It's just something that you're saying. It's kind of in vain. But affirmation, literally, you believe it with feeling, and it's already here. It's not like in the past. It's not in the past. It's not in the future. It's in the present tense. Like, and that's why you say I am. Like, I am confident. I do love myself, etc. And the reason why, I think I saw this like on TikTok or Instagram reel or something, but it was talking about why when you say an affirmation, why you actually say I am. And it's because we're using the manifestation tools that God gave us, as we are reflections of the divine. And God says, I am that I am. So whenever you say I am, whenever you affirm something and start it with I am blank, it means it is already done. And you're using that divine power that is our literally God given right to practice that manifestation through affirmations. So again, it's never future tense, it's never past tense, it's always present tense, like I am blank. Jacinda Jones said, I've experienced what you're speaking, so totally understand, and you're speaking truth. Thank you. Thank you for your comment. Yeah, it's like it's and I've tried to explain this to people who haven't gone through it, and it's almost as if, like, I know that everybody who's just gonna resonate with, it's almost as if you've already experienced it in a way that you already understand the whole process of manifestation. But if you're speaking to somebody who may not even have come to the realization that they have the power to, like I was saying, put that wall up when other people are speaking things over their life, or they may not realize that they're using divine power, wisdom, when they say, or when they start an affirmation with I am, or they may not even know the power of having faith or a strong sense of belief that it is already done, whatever you're affirming. It's like sometimes it goes in one ear and out the other, because you really have to have gone through something like this to see that your words have that much power. And really, like, by ourselves, our words don't have that much power, just like our human words. And that's why we have to affirm it in the present tense, like it is already done, because that adds the divine power over our words that it needs in order for it to be manifested, because manifestation is a spiritual tool. It's not like something we even see, or it's not physical. It's like we bring things from the mental or the physical. We bring things from the mental or the spiritual into the physical through manifestation, but it's not like we use our own human ability. Asada McClendon said, you're making valid points. We do have control of the internal thoughts we think about and the external things we hear or see, but it's hard to block out. We just gotta stay grounded with self. Yeah, it is difficult. No, like, no cap. And when I first realized this power, what I really had to do to realize the power of manifestation, affirmations, to truly see it, I had to cut some things out of my life. The main reason that well, at least in my opinion, that we have a hard time doing things like that or being more conscious with really is because we have distractions. Distractions are the main things that keep us in disbelief, that block our faith, and that block our consciousness. So, really, like I was saying, a lot of people may speak things over to you, or a lot of people may try to speak things over you in your life. If there's people in your life that are constantly speaking negativity over you, constantly trying to speak negativity over you, if those people are close to you, how much harder do you think you'll have to try to block it out? If it's like somebody who's like your really close friend or you're a family member too, that can be difficult. How much more would you have to try to block those things out if the people speaking negativity over you are the closest people to you? And somewhat that used to be my circumstance. And I wonder why I never got a chance to see manifestation in action until I had to cut certain individuals out of my life, mainly by choice, but also circumstances at the time. It just happened to be to work out like that. And there was a huge shift after that, after after I voluntarily and just happened to be that certain people either walked out or cut them off. It was a huge like night and day shift for my conscience. I could see a whole lot of things that I did not see before or notice before, or spiritual downloads and things. There are always signs like in our life. We simply have more distractions than we can see signs. That's simply it. So other distractions in our life can be things that have a hold over us, such as addictions. I believe most human beings are probably addicted to something. Um, Other than, just other physical things that we hold a high regard to is kind of like we can worship certain things, certain physical possessions. I mean, money. I'm kind of going on a tangent, but people actually say money is the root of all evil. No, the love of money is the root of all evil, but that's a whole, maybe I should make like a whole other video on that. Every time I have a live stream, when people are commenting, you should make a video, you should make a video. And I be trying to keep a record of like things I should make a video about, but I be forgetting. But then eventually it will come back up. But so in life, we control our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Therefore, we can control our circumstances because if we can control our thoughts, and I know this because of meditating, we can direct our thoughts to what we want to focus on. If you haven't tried meditation or maybe have a difficult time meditating, that's totally understandable because of the ways in which we live these days. But the process of meditation goes like you have a focal point, something that's like the center, the anchor of the meditation. Say it's the breath, right? You're focusing on the breath. You're focusing on your inhale and your exhale, and your mind wanders off to something else. Usually, my mind, when I'm meditating, my mind wanders off to a song. Like this morning when I was meditating, my mind had a Willow Smith song like playing over and over. And then that's a distraction. Life often hands you distractions. It's just like when you're meditating. And distractions, something you didn't see coming from a mile away. They just boom, they're there. And unexpected circumstance that may change your life, boom, it just comes. And you're not in control over external factors, right? So just like in the meditation, whenever I notice that my mind has wandered, I just redirect my awareness to the breath. And it's the same thing in your life with thoughts too. Whenever a distraction comes, whatever that distraction is, you just notice it. You know, emotions get in the way. Sometimes we have a difficult time just letting situations go. Totally understandable. But somehow we just have to redirect our focus to whatever the focal point was before the distraction came. And that's how we really overcome this mind control. And it's really not mind control, it's more so mind direction. Because there has to be a focal point. So therefore our thoughts, we can control our thoughts, and eventually control our circumstances. Because our circumstances come from our thought, and then our thoughts become speech, whether through affirmations or just things that we say every single day. And then our thoughts become actions, and then our actions become our life. So it goes from thought to speech to action to reality. And that's how any sort of mental thing comes from the mental to the physical. And that's literally the process of manifestation. So, um, I'll ask this question. Do you think, and you know, you can answer this in the chat, do you think that control over your life is an advantage or a disadvantage? Your ability to manifest thoughts, because we can have positive thoughts, but we can also have negative thoughts. And when we can literally manifest negativity. We manifest negativity every single day. I believe that more people are aware of their negative manifestations from negative thoughts than their positive manifestations from positive thoughts. And not a lot of people not a lot of people talk about manifesting negativity, or they may talk about it like indirectly, because we all know that we manifest from our negative thoughts. And it sort of perpetuates the cycle. Like, if you've ever said to yourself, you know, your past keeps catching up with you, either like trauma in the past or a certain circumstance that you thought you were over, and it keeps recycling in your life, or recircling, that may be a manifestation of a negative thought that we may need to learn how to redirect in order to get out of that negative cycle in our life. So you can answer that in the chat. Let me know whether you think control is, or maybe like personally too, whether you think control is um, more so of a benefit or a detriment. I don't know how relevant that sound, but you're saying to remind me of the following, which has to do with my life. When I was close to God, I didn't have people close to me, so no distractions. That's facts. We have to be isolated in order to hear clearly. And we're taught that isolation is bad. And in a sense, it is definitely, because human beings are social creatures. But while the year 2020 was very traumatic for multiple different factors, for me, it was very healing for multiple different factors. It wasn't just having solitude or a lot of things getting cut out of my life. It was literally a shift. And I think a shift that I was in control of. It was a shift around the entire globe that happened in 2020. Um, but I realized when you get further away from physical material things or even negative things or negative people, you get closer to God. It just automatically happens. Because it's kind of either or. You're either close to God or you're close to other things that are something other than God. You know what I'm saying? It's either like you're spiritually in tune or you're not spiritually in tune. There's no middle ground, I've learned. Now it happens to have more people close to me, but I am millions of miles away from God. LOL. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people find themselves in that place. And here's the thing, a journey is up and down. It's like a roller coaster. So as long as we're living and breathing, there's no time that we're just fixed on one thing. We may have bits and pieces of our life, caveats and crevices, and then after that season is over, you're right back where, well, not right back where you started, but you're on a new path. Even though it may feel like you're right back where you started, you're not, because you're a whole day older than you were before. So you're never right back where you started. It's honestly impossible. Jerome, Christmas, if the right kind of people, oh, if the right people in your life, you be able to be close to them as well as the Most High. I believe that. I do believe that. So there comes a point in your life actually where when you become a certain amount of spiritually in tune with God, the people who you start to align your paths with, they're on that same spiritual path, because humans are like magnets. And this works for, I mean, this goes hand in hand with manifestation and affirmations, because your words and your actions are a magnet for whatever vibrations you're putting out, basically. So, with negative thoughts, they literally manifest negative external circumstances. Even though thoughts are internal, whatever happens internally manifests externally. So, negative thoughts manifest negative circumstances. That's how, like, we're literally in control of our circumstances in life. Positive thoughts internally manifest positive circumstances. So, I found when you think positively, when you affirm positive things for yourself in the present tense, when you raise your consciousness awareness, and maybe after you're out of that season where you have to be isolated in order to see certain signs and move in that direction, then the direction you start moving in, a lot of the people that you meet are moving in the same direction, because we're just magnets. That's just how the world works. Like attracts like, and literally every single person that you meet is for a reason to help direct you. Even if you feel like you're on a great path and then all of a sudden you meet somebody that spiritually they try to pull you in the wrong direction, that's a wake up call too. You can attract, even when you're on a positive path, you can attract negativity, because sometimes we'll attract just as much negativity as positivity, because we have opposing forces in this life. Like, the devil, evil, whatever you want to call it. Um, it's like it's here. So you're actually going to attract negativity too when you're trying to be more positive. And that's just opposition. If you think about it, good can't exist without evil. Like, as long as there's been good in this world, there's been evil, and vice versa. And that's the paradox of life. That's the yin and yang of life. And even though they're opposites, and even though like attracts like, in all the good parts of life, there will be bad parts of life. In all the bad parts, there will be good parts. If you notice a yin and yang symbol, if you look it up right now on your phone or whatever device, you'll notice that the black part, the part that's mostly black, it has a circle of white in it. And the white part that's mostly white has a circle, a dot of black in it. That is a symbolism of what I just explained. In every bit of negativity, there's some positivity. In every bit of positivity, there's some negativity. You just can't get away from it. And it's better to simply embrace that whole journey and sometimes just fall back and just surrender to what already is. So, yeah. Too much of anything is not good for you. Overthinking, over analyzing, too much control, etc. Sometimes allowing the flow and generally staying positive, making conscious decisions is more my approach. Well, that's basically kind of in a nutshell what I was touching on. Going with the flow, generally staying positive is is better than anything, because no matter how much, like what I just said, when there's negativity and all types of positivity, no matter what, positivity always feels better than negativity. Like, that's definitely true. And too much of anything, and that can be difficult to discern too, because what can be too much? We kind of have to, like like Mrs. M said, we kind of have to just allow the flow, fall back and allow life to do its thing in order for us to be able to discern, read the signs, and then continue speaking, positively what we know. Even if you don't think you know something and you want it to become true. Um, oh, and I'll also touch on this, like when you're manifesting. Another reason why isolation is important and eliminating distractions is so that you can hear clearly what you're actually supposed to be speaking into existence. Because with our own knowledge, like humans have knowledge, we don't necessarily have wisdom, because wisdom comes from divine power. And if we're not tapped into that, if we're not tapped into God, if we're not hearing from God willingly, then we'll just have knowledge and we won't have wisdom. Wisdom is important because, say you want a red Lamborghini, and that's the car that you want to manifest. But God don't want you to have no red Lamborghini. He wants you to have a green Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Um, you'll be over here trying to manifest a red Lamborghini, but that's not even what God has for you. Right? So then you're using the knowledge of what you want for your own life, but you're not using divine wisdom. Because if you were using divine wisdom, you would know that that's not what you want to even speak into existence. So, to use affirmations to enact manifestation is a spiritual thing. In order to use that spiritual tool, you want to be spiritually aligned to the Most High. Ain't that the truth? Hello, all. Hello. This has been great. Thanks for the positiveness this morning. Gotta get ready for work. Everyone take care. Same. If you gotta go to work, I totally understand. Thank you for tuning in this morning. I'm about done really to wrap it up. And also, if you're watching this live on replay, also still comment whether you think having control is more so of an advantage, maybe for you personally, or just in general, is it more of an advantage or a disadvantage? And then why? So, thank you for everybody who tuned in today and commented and interacted. I really appreciate it. And if you're new to my channel, you can go ahead and subscribe and also like this live stream so a lot more people see it. But and if you have any suggestions of my future videos, definitely let me know. I would be happy to do those for you. And I hope to see you in my next video. All right, y'all. Peace.